So what, we watch anime. So what, we play League. We're just having fun. We don't care who sees. So what, we stay in. It don't bother me. Living young, pale, and nerdy.
Hello and welcome to the Written Entertainment Podcast, episode 342 for, what's the date today? March 20th, 2022. My name is Nathan Reitz-Bruth, and joining me this week we have Connor.
It's me. It's my birthday.
Happy birthday, Connor. Do you mind if I give your age?
Yeah, don't say my name. Don't say my age.
Don't say your name.
That's okay.
Okay. Your age is...
Could you censor my voice this whole podcast? Give it like that anonymous setting.
I can't do that. No, that would take way too much effort because I put them all as one track.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be quite a bit of work then.
Yeah, because then I'd have to
Just
isolate
do the whole
your voice.
podcast like that.
No.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Nathan Entertainment Podcast.
Yes, the Nathan Entertainment Podcast.
That's what we call it, the Nathan Entertainment Podcast.
Exactly. So, Aroah is not going to be here this week, which
He's busy.
He's busy. He had some family issues, so we're taking the reins. But that is unfortunate for him because this is the last podcast
Ever.
that we are
Thanks, everyone.
going to be using the old intro music.
Oh, no way.
I got new intro music. It is way different than what we had before. It doesn't have any lyrics, and I specifically wanted that because the
now
lyrics.
I could freestyle over it every episode.
Yeah. Yes. No. The lyrics tend to get outdated if it's something referencing like video games or something. It's going to be outdated in 2 or 3 years.
So we play God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah. So I have a new intro music that I got last night.
I'm so excited for that.
Do you want the story about it first, or do you want to hear the music first?
Let me hear the story. I'm a sophisticated gentleman. I like to know what I'm listening to.
So have you ever heard of the band Seamus?
Actually, yes, I think I have.
They were in pretty much every Rock Band game and Guitar Hero games.
I'm pretty sure that's where I know them from, actually.
Exactly. So I've listened to them for over a decade now because they died in 2012. So I listened to them since the original Guitar Hero came out, and I still have their CDs on my Spotify and everything. And a few months ago, somebody was like, "Hey, what's a band that you heard of that you wouldn't have heard of if you didn't play Guitar Hero or Rock Band?" And I put in Seamus. And long story short, one of the guys in the band commented on that and was like, those were the days. And we had a little bit of a conversation. And so when a few weeks ago we were talking about getting a new intro song, and I was like, I could look at Fiverr and ask people, just to make random music and see if it sticks. And then I was like, wait a minute, I have this guy's email address. So I popped an email to him. I was like, hey, I was just wondering if you do podcast themes. And he's like, yeah. And so we worked out something, and I purchased a podcast theme from him that he made especially for the podcast. So very excited because Seamus, while they only had 3 albums and they died like 10 years ago, I still really like their music. So I was really happy to be able to support somebody in that band. And he seems like a really nice guy. So,
Hell yeah.
Again, it's quite a bit different. Give me your thoughts afterwards, but we'll listen to the music. It's 22 seconds long, so it's still pretty short.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to the
That. Oh,
yeah.
right.
Sorry.
Were we going, or was it critique time?
This is critique time. This is I like it. It is a little bit
Made by Snoop Dogg?
It's lighter than what we have. Than what we had before, like, stolen music that Jake
It wasn't stolen. It was parodied. It's perfectly legal, I
yes.
think.
I think it is as well. But it's good. I like the intro, and it's 16-bit inspired is what he was going for. So
Sure.
kind of Final Fantasy, like,
Yeah, like a Final Fantasy save point, or you've just used the inn and now you're healed or something like that.
exactly. So that's what we were going for, and I think he nailed it. He wanted to do that, but also like with real drums and a couple real instruments thrown in. So
If you send me that audio, I might actually work with it eventually.
okay, cool. So very excited to have that new music, and we're gonna start using that on every episode
Tomorrow.
going. Well, I mean,
not tomorrow. Next week.
Yeah, next week. Unless
If you're listening to every episode linearly, tomorrow.
Yes. But
don't do that. Do not do that.
Please don't. Please don't listen to the first 100 episodes of the podcast. Anyway, I've had people that are like, I think Ash has done it, where they're like, "Hey, I'm gonna listen to all the episodes," and we're just like, "Nah, maybe not. No, don't do that. They're there, they exist, but please don't."
We're a news podcast, and by the time that you're listening to this outdated, it's no longer news. Maybe the April 1st episodes, because sometimes we do funny stuff, but
yeah,
you're not missing much of nothing.
One thing that there were a couple podcasts that I actually went through and deleted because Aroah would say something offensive, and I'm like, I can't.
We can't have that in our reputations.
Yeah, 3 years from now, if we ever get big and somebody's
that won't happen.
They're like, we're gonna cancel Reeton. I'm like, no. So I preemptively, over a year ago when I moved some of our stuff, I did that. But anyway, we're getting off topic. Where can we find you, Connor?
You can find me and you and that Aroah guy we were just talking about a second ago at aroah.website, where all of our social media links are conveniently organized for your access. The ones that I want to draw your attention to is Clinton's Core Classics, a Rise of the Rune Lords first edition actual play podcast. It's great. We're doing really good.
We're almost done.
I think it's either next week or 2 weeks from now is the 200th episode upload. We've been doing this for a while.
Yeah, we have 4 years, something like that, and then I think
we've
5.
Been playing for 6.
Well, yeah, we've been playing for 5 or 6. God, time just flies when you're. I was gonna say having fun, but some of those times,
fun. Half of that time's been pretty miserable.
Yeah, but anyway,
particularly the last 2-3 years part. If I had to section it out.
Yeah, the last 2 or 3 years have sucked.
We continued publishing all throughout, and I would be just ever so delighted if you checked it out. I'm sure you would enjoy it.
Exactly. And for me, you can find me at Reeton everywhere. You can find me on Road.website, but I'm Reeton on Twitter, Reeton on Twitch. I stream on Twitch from 6 p.m. Pacific time to 9 p.m. Pacific time, Monday through Friday. Currently, I am playing through Guardians of the Galaxy, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And then you can find my podcast that you're listening to right now. We're on Spotify, but we're everywhere else too. We're on Stitcher, we're on Amazon, we're on Google, we're on YouTube. I've been posting all the episodes after we record them. All the new episodes are going up on my youtube.com/Reeton. So you can have many, many different ways to listen to the podcast. And also, by the way, they're free. 100% free. You wouldn't download a car, but you can download the Reeton Entertainment podcast for free. Yeah. So, and that's a lie, by the way. I definitely would download a car.
I would download the fuck out of a car.
Yeah, even if it was, they're like, the only car you can download is a Pinto. I'd be like, all right, look, it's a downloaded car.
Lada has open sourced its vehicle design, and you can now print it out of. I wouldn't want to drive a car out of resin, but I would download it at least.
Yeah, I mean, there are some materials that I would see being okay to drive in.
My car's made out of PLA. Oh no, it's a hot day.
Yeah, maybe Pet G. I think I would I think I'd be okay with Pet G, but not so much PLA or ABS. Anyway, what games have you played this week?
I was looking at my Steam library and my play. I don't really think I even played much of anything this week. I think
No.
I late joined a round of Space Station 13 and mostly just did my objectives, then finished and had other things to do. I have been painting and editing like a madman, though. I'm about 10 episodes ahead, 2.5 months
Oh,
on the publishing schedule.
yeah, I've seen
So
that. I saw that like you have like 7 or 8 episodes.
it's 10 now. Well, it'll
Oh,
be
wow.
9 tomorrow, but I'm like 20 minutes into the next episode already.
Nice. That's good.
So, I mean, I've been pretty productive with that. I've been painting a little bit too. More specifically, I've been trying to go out of my comfort zone and sculpt a little more.
Oh.
So, like with bases, I have one that looks like the idea is it was a minotaur, so I made it look like labyrinth bricks. Made some little like pentagrams and other cool stuff on there, just to scare people who think that the D&D scare still is a thing.
Yeah. Is there a Warhammer minute that you've done?
Yeah, I did play Warhammer 2 days ago.
Oh, okay. I don't have a I have not
For the
added those.
Emperor, wah, for the greater good, we serve the omnis. Blah blah blah. Okay, yeah, that's it. I got to play against Tau again. This time I used a Adeptus Mechanicus ability, which allows you to mix in a knight, which is one of those big old stompy robots that you've seen me paint. Like the ridiculous. It's not fair to call them miniatures. One of them is like bigger than my head.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Uh,
that's a big bigature.
it's a bigature. I have. Normally I get to field the one big one. This time I decided to field two of the little ones. I call them moorhounds, and boy, were they actually like the best thing ever. I regret never trying to use these things before. They did so much heavy lifting for my army, which is some of the best shooting in the game, against their army, Tau, which is arguably the best shooting in the game right now. Turns out it doesn't matter what you're shooting at if it's a giant robot that has a chainsaw connected to its hand.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. That makes
And
sense.
it's goofy, grimdark madness, but I was able to get it just right up into his gun line first turn, and it's like, well, I guess that's now something I need to deal with.
Yeah. Did
It
you
was a
deal with
very
it?
good game, though. I ended up winning, but turn one, I was getting my ass kicked. But then the robots showed up, and things turned around pretty quickly. I was all right with that.
Well, that's good. And so you didn't play anything really except for some Space Station 13, some painting, some editing, and
Played
lots
some
of painting, lots
Shadowrun.
of editing. We did play Shadowrun last week. That was fun.
I love the fudge out of Shadowrun. I'm
I
so
know.
excited to play.
I have next to me the next game we're gonna play. Um,
The Power Rangers, the
yes,
Powder Gangers.
one day. I know it's
Can I
stupid, but it'll be fun.
can I play the Rainbow Power Ranger who gets
Uh,
all the powers of all their Power Rangers at once?
no, there is not that. But I was reading through the book, and there is a way that they are allowing you to have your base color, so you can do the base, pink, yellow, red, black, or blue, and each of them have kind of different abilities, so they're not 100% the same. Like the Blue Ranger has slightly less power, but better agility or something like that.
That makes sense.
But you can become a 6th Ranger. You can upgrade. Oh, I see. You can also become the Green Ranger. But you can upgrade to be like the White Ranger. And they already have plans for additional books that will have additional 6 Rangers you can become. So
Nathan, was this whole plan just so you could finally become the White Power Ranger? Was that your plan all along?
I did not know that was going to be a thing until I bought the book. They didn't.
Nathan's like, all right, I love White Power Ranger.
Yes, the White Power Ranger.
Gotta
no.
say that Ranger.
Let's. I don't think it's supposed to be like that, but it does sound bad.
No.
Anyway,
No, it's just a fun play on words.
games I played this week. I played some WWE 2K22 on Monday.
It's a good wrestle boy that you've made.
Yeah,
I don't think wrestling is for me.
that's okay. It's fun.
It's all in fun.
It's a wrestling
the
game.
drama is so like, I don't know, junior high school level.
Yeah, it's not great. Let's be fair. There are some storylines in real, professional wrestling that are pretty good, but a lot of the times it's really contrived and stupid. But I really like, the actual watching the wrestling. Watching the Wrestle Boys do their gymnastics and stuff is pretty good. I like the game. It's way better than 2020. I've had a couple glitches, but nothing too bad. And then on Tuesday through Friday, I started playing Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy because it's included with Game Pass, like everything else I play. We are not sponsored by Game Pass, but if Game Pass wants to sponsor us, I would totally take that. But
I might even get to play a game if we had a sponsorship with Game Pass.
yeah, but Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy got Game of the Year last year in the Video Game Awards, and I kind of scoffed at that, and most people on the podcast did, and I still don't think it's Game of the Year material, but it is way better than I thought it would be.
Maybe even way better than it has any business to be.
Yeah.
For a third person action light platformer.
Yeah, and slight RPG elements.
Slight RPG and slight puzzle. I mean, the puzzles are usually, use the green power on the green light. I don't want to say it's sophisticated, but it's there.
Yeah, and the story is pretty good so far. I'm about halfway through it. They didn't have the licenses for the characters, or for the actors, so you're not getting Dave Bautista or the guy from Parks and Rec. So you're getting...
His name is Chris Pratt. You know his name is Chris
I
Pratt.
didn't actually know his name was Chris Pratt. I totally blanked on it. I never watched Parks and Rec, by the way.
He was busy doing the lines for Mario. Also, they probably couldn't afford him.
Yeah, that's true. That's the reason. They did not want to pay the licensing fees. So they have kind of generic, more towards the comic book characters. And the only one who looks the same is Rocket, because Rocket's a raccoon.
It's not a raccoon. Don't call him a raccoon.
He will get very mad. But it's a good game. The only thing that, like, my friend Durga didn't like is that they took the personalities from the movies, because apparently the personality in the movie and the personality in the comic books are pretty different.
Yeah.
And so they
what people know right now.
Yeah, they have them more towards the movie personalities, but they do have a lot of references to comic books that aren't in the movie, that aren't in the continuity of the movie. So,
they have a good selection of skins. I was impressed with that. Yeah,
the skins are really good. And then also, like, Gamora's talking about why she left being part of Thanos's, guild or whatever. And the reason she left Thanos was something that's not in the movies, but is in the comic books, where Thanos, the reason he wants to wipe out half the galaxy is not because he wants to, like, preserve life or make everything better. It's because he wants to bang Lady Death. That
tracks. That is canon.
Yeah. And so Gamora's like, I walked in and he was talking to himself. Turns out he was trying to kill so that he could impress Lady Death. And I was like, oh, hey, that's from the comics. And they have some other references to the comics in there that aren't in the movie. So it's good. It's in Game Pass too, so you don't have to pay for it. If you already have Game Pass, just download it and play it. I would actually highly recommend it. So that's it. That's all the games I played this week. Well, I made a mistake because I've been watching a lot of Fallout gameplay and story stuff on the YouTubes, and I played some Fallout 76 off camera, and that's weird. Apparently, if you have it in windowed mode, it'll only run at 48 frames a second.
That makes sense. It needs the rest of those frames to keep the window open.
Yeah, when I'm in full screen, it'll run at 144 frames a second. So
one strong gust happens in the game, and that window's closing.
Yes,
that's how that works.
Exactly. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about some news stories. Who here likes Instagram?
I don't actually have an Instagram account.
I have one, and
never had one.
I rarely post on it.
My interactions with Instagram involve me, like, the hour before I need to run a game of D&D being like, oh right, I need a map. Oh, that's a cool one. Oh, I can't download it though because it's on fucking Instagram.
Yeah. Apparently, you may be able to download it here soon as an NFT.
Boo! I
Mark
need a soundboard.
Zuckerberg. Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg has confirmed that NFTs are coming to Instagram. He suggested that Instagram users would be able to mint things within that environment. This is from Engadget. It says, we're working on bringing NFTs to Instagram in the near term. He didn't detail exactly how they would take shape, but suggested people would be able to show off their existing NFTs and potentially mint new ones, saying, I'm not ready to kind of announce exactly what's going to be happening today, but over the next several months, the ability to bring some of your NFTs in, hopefully over time, be able to mint things within that environment. Hopefully over time, be able... That's a weirdly worded sentence. Like it was made by
it's
some...
kinda like somebody who was just taking the words written in another article and throwing them in their own.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was going to say it's Mark Zuckerberg, so it's probably like an AI.
And
Like
who wrote
made
this
it.
article? Mark Zuckerberg?
Yeah. K Bell wrote it.
I think this is actually a quote. I'm throwing Mark
Yeah.
under the bus on this one.
Good. I don't... Oh, he also says there's like a lot of technical things that need to get worked out before that'll really be seamless to happen.
This is the same guy who called his user base stupid fucks. So I mean that tracks.
Yeah, I also think that NFTs are really dumb.
Yes, they are a scam, and they haven't announced how the pyramid structure is going to work on this Engadget article. Me having a good eye for this sort of thing, I'm going to guess anything that is minted on Instagram is going to, at the base level, be owned by Instagram.
Yeah.
You host it on there, other people can purchase your art, at which point you're the second block in the chain. So, you might get a cut if somebody invests it, but I'm sure Instagram's going to be getting their cut on every single transaction.
Yeah, most likely it'll be the industry average. What I would assume is it'll be around 30%. Because
that's a safe assumption. Otherwise, they'd probably just go somewhere else for their shit.
Yeah, that's what most online places will charge, is around 30%. Epic has done some stuff. While I know you don't like Epic, I don't care for it that much, but I don't hate it. They have done some really good things in that they take a lower percentage of sales than Steam or Apple or any of that. So instead of being 30%, I think it's 12%.
Good on them for being able to afford that, but
yeah,
I'm pretty sure they're the people who make what do they make? Yeah,
Fortnite. Yeah,
they got the money.
I mean, to be fair, Apple doesn't need 30%. Neither does Valve.
Apple is the perfect example of what unfettered corporate greed can do.
Yeah.
I don't think you should be using them as the ethical example.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is, they can afford to have a lower percentage and they refuse to. Same with Valve. Now, Valve, I believe, has changed their structure, and we covered it in a previous episode. So I'm not going to throw them under the bus or anything, but I believe that they have changed, but Apple has not.
Apple, I'll throw them under the bus, shove them in front of the bus, train, you name it.
Oh, yeah. Another company that we're really mad at right now is Netflix.
Yeah, it sounds like I might just not be using Netflix here soon.
Yeah, so I haven't really used Netflix much in the last couple of years, but I keep it open because I have people who use my account. My sister uses my account. My friend Wendy uses my account. I think a couple other people I think Durga uses my account. And I just let them use my account. And I have thought, man, I never use Netflix. I could just cancel it. And then I'm like, oh, my sister uses it, or my friend Wendy uses it. So I'm not gonna cancel it because of that. However, I have, over the last couple of years, become less and less interested in supporting Netflix, mainly because they keep on showing record profits every single year, and then raising the price of Netflix. And I hate that. I hate it so much because,
There's a whole lot of that going around in the world right now.
yeah. And so they do that like every couple of years. They'll raise the price by $1 or $3, and then I'll keep paying for it. But now they are doing, this is from Ars Technica, but a lot of news places have covered it. Netflix fights password sharing with test of $3 extra member fee. The new fee is going to be in Chile, Costa Rica, and Peru, while Netflix considers a worldwide rollout. Yeah. So, Netflix will soon charge an extra fee for sharing accounts with people in other households. This is the company's latest attempt to reduce the password sharing that's been common among Netflix users for years. As I said, the fee will roll out in Chile, Costa Rica, and Peru over the next few weeks and potentially go worldwide at a later date. Members on our standard and premium plans will be able to add sub-accounts for up to 2 people they don't live with, each with their own profile, personalized recommendations, login, and password. At a lower price, it averages to be $2.99 per user, I think. And so I would quit. I don't want to pay $6 extra to share my Netflix account that I already pay a bunch of money for.
Netflix has the whole no ads thing going for it, and that's great.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really have a lot of the shows that I like to watch anymore. And frankly, with the current streaming environment, piracy sure is looking pretty appealing once more. You
I mean,
fucked up, Netflix. You had it all and you fucked up.
yeah, and 10 years ago, before HBO Go, before what is it, HBO Go? Is that the one?
HBO Plus and
Plus whatever, yeah.
Paramount Plus and Disney Plus and
Yeah.
it all sucks. The future fucking sucks.
CBS. Oh wait, no, I think CBS Plus or whatever, or is that? Then there's Peacock. Like, there are just a lot of streaming platforms out there.
Pluto, which I think is a free one, actually.
Pluto is free, yeah. But like 10 years ago, when Netflix was mainly the only competition, there were a couple other ones like Hulu and stuff, but Netflix was the only one, and they would license a ton of shows like Star Trek, and that's now on CBS. And then they would have other shows on there that, like they had those Marvel shows like Daredevil, and then they stopped making those because they wanted Disney Plus wanted to have those on their own streaming service. So they started getting rid of a lot of those shows and moving those to other platforms. So it's making Netflix a lot less appealing. And as you said, because there's so many different services to sign up for, like, oh, I want to watch Loki, but I have to have Disney Plus, or I want to watch this, but I have to have Netflix, like Stranger Things, let's say. It is making piracy a lot more appealing. Not saying that I support it. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Say no more, say no more.
Yeah. But let's just say I would rather watch the shows that I personally own on my Plex server. Let's just say that. The ones that I personally definitely didn't pirate. And that honestly is the best streaming service. Is having your own streaming service.
Yeah.
So what I will say is, if they do implement this and they want to start charging me $6 more a month, I am just going to cancel my Netflix account. And I would imagine a lot of people are going to do that. And this is a bad move. I don't know. I mentioned that I think the Netflix CEO made like $30-something million or whatever last year. And I'm like, you know what? You could pay me $1 million and I'll do his job. Like, I'll take $1 million a year to do your job. And somebody tweeted me, and they're like, well, they wouldn't have made this much revenue if you were the CEO. I'm like, yeah, they would.
Totally would have.
Yeah, they
Maybe
definitely
even
would
more.
have. Yeah. And I would look at something like this where they're like, we want to charge $3 per extra person. I'd be like, no, that's a bad idea. We are
Bad
going to
idea.
lose so many customers if you try to do that. It's a dumb
Say
thing
it
to
with
do.
me, everyone. 3, 2, 1. Customer loyalty.
Exactly. You're going to lose a lot of that loyalty if you don't allow them to do that. I know it's annoying to have somebody with 3 different households with the same password. And you could
Is
think,
it
man,
though?
and you could think, man, if only I had if all 3 of those people were paying for the service, we'd have so much more money. But those people aren't
Now
going to
there's
pay for the
none.
service. The reason why people use Netflix is
Convenience.
it's convenience, because it is way more convenient to have one thing that you go to go watch movies and stuff, and then instead of having to pirate it. Because let's be fair, pirating can be a hassle. And if it's right
I
there
wouldn't
and
know.
it's
Never done
convenient,
it.
yeah, I wouldn't know either. But from what I understand, those people who download cars, it takes a while. It takes a long time to 3D print a car. From what I
Weeks.
understand, weeks, probably months.
Probably
And
months.
yeah. Anyway, don't do it. Don't pirate. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And quit Netflix if they try to implement this stupid household thing. Get Hulu or Disney Plus. They're just as good as Netflix. Anyway, we're going to move on and we're going to talk about the PlayStation State of Play 2.0 Electric Boogaloo. There were a bunch of things that happened, but honestly, not a lot that I care about. We got Deathverse. Let It Die. It's a 3D action game with it looks like robots.
I was just saying last week, you know what the PlayStation console needs is more third-person adventure action games.
Yeah.
Adventure action games. Adventure action games. Minecraft.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be playing it. Like it does look
I
like I like the art style and it looks like it could be fun, but I probably won't pick it up.
need to punch in my birthday because YouTube doesn't think I'm old enough to watch this video anymore for some reason.
Yeah.
I think this is a fun, like, I watch this and I feel like it has inspirations of things like Smash TV and I don't know, plenty of other Gauntlet style games. I just don't think this is. I mean, maybe it'll actually be good. I feel like it's just another brawler.
Yeah. I do like the art style quite a bit. That's one
Like
thing that they
the
got going.
noir kind of. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It reminds me of Nier quite a
Yeah.
bit. Yeah. The next game is a way different art style that I hate. Really, like super minimalistic art style. It's
You don't
not
like
that
Victor's?
not really. I was gonna say it's not like that. It's cell shaded because I like cell shaded graphics. It's yeah. It's very muted colors, and I'm not a huge fan of it. But this is a game called We Are OFK. We've spoken about it before. It says indie band OFK teams up with the co-designer of Hyperlight Drifter for a new 5-episode music. Is it biopic or biopic series?
I think there's people who have had debates on the topic, and I think the real answer is it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. I say biopic and people get mad at me, but I've heard other people say biopic. So whatever. There's no dash. I think that's what gets me, because people say biopic, but if there was a dash, it would anyway.
I think if these are the things you're worrying about, you have bigger problems to worry about.
Right. So I am not interested. It looks like it's kind of a Life is Strange or Telltale Games thing where you make a bunch of choices and none of them matter.
Yeah, maybe I would care about these people more than, I don't know, dumb teenagers.
Maybe.
to be blunt. But I don't mind the art style, and I think they're having fun with each other, but it also does look like it's a game where a large part of that game is car trip simulator.
Yeah.
Woo! I mean,
Woo! I
it's a
already
5 episode thing, so it's hard to say what it's going to be like without all 5 episodes being available.
yeah.
It looks like it's going to be an interesting first start, though.
I've already played Final Fantasy 15. I don't need another car trip simulator. Please don't get me another one of those. I hate it. Did you ever play Final Fantasy 15?
Yeah, I never finished it, but I did play it.
Hated it.
It had some cool moments. I like where he's like, "Get off my throne," and I was like, "Whoa, that's cool," but that wasn't worth the 60 hours of driving it took to get to that point.
Yeah, exactly. So, we also have another game called Bug Snacks. It's getting
Bug
it
snacks.
looks like it's getting an expansion, the Isle of Big Snacks.
This is
And
made by the dude who made Octodad.
it looks enjoyable. I don't know if it doesn't look like a game I would really finish. I would play it, be like, "Man, that was fun," and then never play it again.
It's neat and it's creative in a level that I definitely haven't seen other games be. I know friend of the show, uh,
Nick Lotus.
Niclotus loves this game.
Yeah. And that's exactly who it's made for. It's made for somebody who really likes collecting things, it looks like, and cutesy things, because everything is cute. And there's like a bug who has the cheeseburger for a butt.
Well,
That
no, its body is a cheeseburger. One of the new updates is you could dress up your bug snacks. So
Oh
that is a cheeseburger bug snack with um, twirly style fries. And there's probably a better name for that. Who is wearing a wrapper as a mask,
yeah.
and it's adorable.
And they are. Did you know they're still making Five Nights at Freddy's games?
Yeah, I felt like I heard that the dude had gotten out of the game, whatever the weird Christian dude. But
Yeah.
I think Sony now owns the rights to Five Nights at Freddy's.
Do they? This one looks. It's called Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach.
It's
And
definitely not a jump scare while you look at couple of screens kind of game. It's different.
yeah, it definitely looks, because you're able to move around in it. You're able to go from room to room. It looks like you still can. I'm just watching the trailer. It looks like you can still view the cameras and all that stuff, but it's, still not going to be great.
You could also crawl inside of a Freddy suit and ride it like you're the Bicentennial Man,
Yeah.
which is a bad idea. Animatronics are full of sharp wires and springs and stuff. Don't crawl in there.
Well, I think part of the storyline is that one of the animatronics, I think all of them, where people were murdered and then shoved into the animatronics to hide their bodies.
Hide the bodies, or the robots were like, "You need to get to work." Cram, cram, cram.
Yeah. So, I don't think I'll be playing that game, but if you like Five Nights at Freddy's, you can do. I have Five Nights at Freddy's 1, 2, and 3. I have just never actually played them. And I don't know if I ever will. They were really cheap. They were like $1 or $2 a piece. So my friend bought them for me, and I never played them. Anyway, we're going to talk about Death's Door. This is an isometric action game.
Yeah, Hades is really popular right now.
Yeah, I was going to say kind of like Hades. And if you want to play this, just play Hades. Because it's
Well,
way better.
It's Devolver Digital. I have a lot of respect for that publishing house as
That's
far as
true.
like the teams they pick up.
Yeah.
But this is Hades.
Did you?
It's less Binding of Isaac-y than Hades. It looks like it might be more of an adventure, but it's
Yeah.
Hades.
Did you ever play Hades?
No,
It came out on Switch. I would be. It's a good
I
game.
don't think it's my kind of game. Like,
Oh.
I really hate beat 'em ups.
Oh. I don't mind. I don't like beat 'em ups, traditional beat 'em ups like Fighting Street or whatever.
Yeah, I have some patience for the wackier ones. Like, I'll play a Battletoads, I'll play a Turtles in Time or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not my jam.
I was thinking Fatal Fury. That's a beat 'em up, right?
I'm not too into the Fatal Furries.
Okay. And then the next game they talked about was Mario Kart. I'm sorry, Kart Rider Drift. Where it looks like they have Mega Man. I'm sorry, not Mega Man, Bomberman.
It looks like a Bomberman, and one of them looks like a Black Mage, but I think that's supposed to be like aerobics or something like that. It's got a gear on it, so I
Yeah,
support it for that reason.
it looks like one of them is one of the guys from the Mega Man games.
It's a coincidence. His name is
Okay.
Original Dow. It looks like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's.
And
I mean, you can customize your cart, which is neat, and I don't know. It's a kart racer. You pick up upgrades. They
it's
look like they're pumpkins.
yeah, it's Mario Kart. That's what it is. And cool, I guess. I don't know.
I guess.
I
Who
don't
asked
know.
for this?
Somebody. Well, nobody asked
Someone at
for it.
Sony is like, look how much money this old ass Mario Kart game is still making. We gotta hop on that.
Yeah. Well, the problem is it's not Mario Kart, and that's why it's not going to make much money.
And
And
it's not that kart racers that aren't Mario Kart can't make money. Look at that Sonic All Stars racing game. It has no business being as good as it is.
yeah, that game is really good. I think that's also included in Game not Game Pass. The PlayStation Plus or whatever.
So yeah, just go play that.
Yeah, they had the Sonic Team Racing as a free game that you could play. Just play that. Really good.
The one where you could play like Shenmue and a UMD memory card.
Yeah, it's so good. Such a good game. No, he drives a forklift. Yeah.
Awesome.
So then the next game they talked about was King of Fighters 15.
Fighting game.
Fighting game.
Is Aroah our resident fighting game boy here?
No, I think that's Durga. Durga likes fighting games.
Durga's our fighter boy.
Yeah, and hopefully it's better because I guess the previous King of Fighters game came out and it was really bad. Like, I don't know if it was 14, but it was a few years ago. There was one that came out and it was really bad and the online play was garbage. This one, the open beta is coming for PS4 and PS5. You can choose from 8 available characters in the open beta, and you can have online casual matches.
Casuals.
Online room match. I don't think there's going to be any ranked play. Get ready to experience King of Fighters 15 on PlayStation 4 and 5. When is the release date for that? Do you have? Aha! The release
Sometime
date
next
is
month for the. Does it say for the actual game? October.
No,
That's
for
when it was announced.
the beta test is November 19th to the 22nd. So, a while from now. I was expecting, they're like, it's gonna be soon. I'm like, oh, cool. And like, I'll probably get my Steam Deck before I get into this friggin' beta, which is amazing because it's like Q3 is when I'm getting my Steam Deck. And I think that's when you're getting yours too.
That's what it said. I haven't. Here, I could check in a minute. I got Steam open.
Yeah.
Yeah, Q3 2022. So eventually,
Woo, sometime this year.
maybe.
Here's a game that looks.
Yo, real talk.
This is what you
Sony,
would like.
you don't usually do well by me. This is my kind of game. I want to play this game.
So
I don't want to get a PS5 to play it, but I want to play this game.
there was a game that we played, and I wasn't a huge fan of it.
You talking about the ship?
I was talking about the ship, but I know you really love that.
Ship.
Yeah,
love the ship. That's one of my favorite games.
and that kind of looks like what this is. So
Yeah.
we should probably mention the name of the game. It's called First Class Trouble, where you're on a ship. It looks like, well, not a ship, but you're in like a hotel.
I think it's a space freighter, a luxury space cruiser.
And I think you're murdering people.
Yeah, it's very much like the ship where you have someone you need to murder-nate. It's very much like Space Station 13 or like Amogus or whatever.
I was going to say Among Us.
Sometimes you have objectives. You super in-depth customization for characters. Nathan, I want to play it.
Yeah,
Nathan, could I borrow your PS5?
You can come to Oregon and play it.
Cool.
The social deception game launches into PlayStation Plus next month. Find out how you can survive rogue AIs aboard a luxury space cruiser, or as an AI, how to pass as human.
That's cool. I've seen that
people.
part in the video right now.
Yeah. So
this game looks super cool.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks like I just saw there's a portion of the video where like somebody like you lift up this bridge and the guy is walking across the bridge
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
somebody
yeah,
else
yeah.
presses the button to make him die. That was good. So it looks like Among Us with better graphics, third person, and probably a lot more fun, to be honest.
And if this is your kind of game, then might I recommend Space Station 13 for you? Oh, that
Yeah.
guy just fell off the bridge.
Yeah, that was funny. So the social deception game launches onto PlayStation Plus next month. My question is, do you want me to play this on stream?
If you play this on stream, I'll watch it, but
Okay.
I know this is famously not your kind of game.
Exactly. I'll play it on stream at least one night. We also have Star Ocean, The Divine. Do you have any? I'm sorry, The Divine Force. Do you have any history with any of the Star Ocean games?
No, it looks like it looks like if in your left hand you had a Fantasy Star, and your right hand you had a Monster Hunter, and you
Yeah.
just kind of smooshed them together.
Yeah, I like the idea of Star Ocean, but I never got into any of the games. The one that was popular when I was in high school was Star Ocean 3, I believe. And I tried playing it. I just could not get into it. And then I gave it up. And then I just never picked up any other Star Ocean game. This game looks good. Like from a technical standpoint, is a very pretty game, but it's an action RPG I'm not hugely into action RPGs.
Third person action adventure RPG with light platforming. Woo!
Wow. I don't know. That sounds like we've mentioned that before. Anyway, the next one is another game that you actually you were like, no, we don't need, oh wait, that actually looks pretty good, called The Little Devil Inside.
Yeah, the initial impression that I had off of this and what it actually looks like is, when they're not just driving around and they're interacting with like the buildings and stuff. This kind of gives me like old school I almost want to even say like a Grim Fandango kind of vibes.
Yeah. Oh, I see
The
tentacle monsters.
Yeah, this game has a little bit of an Eldritch thing going on, definitely.
And
I'm intrigued.
yeah,
I'm interested.
I've heard good things about, like, this is a pretty hotly anticipated game. It looks all right. I don't know if I'm gonna play it at, like, I don't know if I would pay $60 for it, but
I
it doesn't
don't
look bad.
I don't like I'm seeing the combat right now. I have no interest in doing any of that. But I
No.
want to see all the story. You know how Aroah sometimes says he wants games that just have like give me the story mode?
Yeah.
I have a feeling that's the sort of feature I would like with the game in this. I don't want to spam X until all the baddies are taken care of, but there's obviously something they're trying to say with this, and it might actually even be funny.
Right. Now this game looks good. I just don't, again, I don't know if I'd get it. Hopefully it doesn't look like the combat is good, but it also doesn't look like it's very difficult.
Yeah, it doesn't look very sophisticated or developed. This game has survival mechanics, it's got collectible mechanics, and that's all great. I should like everything about this. It just combat looks like it sucks.
Yeah. And that's it. That was the whole show. I'm kind of surprised there were no heavy hitters. Really. There's no like, oh, this is going to be the standout game that's coming out for PS5, like a new Final Fantasy game or something like that.
But you know why that is, right?
Uncharted or anything.
Do you know why that is?
Why?
Because the PlayStation 5 has no games.
That's true. You are correct. Also, I know maybe it's just because I was there for a little while. There's been nothing about what Ben's studio is doing.
That's the one that you used to work at, right?
That's where I used to work for a year. And reports have come out that Days Gone 2 was pitched, because I'm going to spoil the game. I assume you're never going to play it.
Nah.
And if you do play it, I don't think you really care if I spoil the game for you. So there's the Freakers, who are the zombies. They're not zombies, they're Freakers, but the zombies.
They're fungus infected.
And they're fungus infected. And at the end of the game, so there's a guy you've been talking to for the entire game who's part of like the cleanup crew, basically, from the government. Like, they come down and they clean up areas of hugely infected people. And then at the end of the game, you actually meet up with the person, and he takes off his helmet, and he's infected. So the whole buildup was that the whole game you're running into the freakers, and they're mindless zombies. But you find out that there are intelligent freakers as well. So people have been infected but are able to maintain some of their intelligence. And that was going to be, from what I understand, a big part of the second game was kind of investigating that. And they stopped it. They were like, even though Days Gone actually sold pretty well, it was a financial success. But because the reviews came out and they were kind of middling reviews, like it's between 60 and 75%, depending on where you go. Like PlayStation looked at those review scores, and even though the game was selling well, they were like, nah, we're just not going to approve this. We're not going to approve a second game. And so reports have come out that Ben Studio is working on a new game, and has been for years, but we haven't heard anything about it. Not a peep. So I'm kind of curious what they're doing. I'm kind of curious about the next Spider-Man game that was never, at least hasn't been shown off yet. I know it's been announced, but it hasn't been shown off. What Insomniac's doing with that. I don't think we saw any new Uncharted games at this state of play or the last one we spoke about.
I'm curious to see how Uncharted is going to do after the movie's done with. I don't think it's doing very well.
I think the movie's doing all right. I mean, it's a video game movie, so it's not going to do great because video game movies kind of suck.
Carl Urban and The Rock stopped whoever the kid's name is, Tom Holland. No, Tom Holland, yeah. And they're like, listen, kid, don't do it. There's an open door out there. Run and don't look back.
Don't do it. Well, it doesn't matter. He also had Spider-Man release at around the same time, so it doesn't matter. He's good.
Yeah, he's not hurting, I'm sure.
Yeah. But there's a lot of studios that are like first or second party PlayStation studios that just have not announced any new games, or we haven't heard anything about them in a while. And I'm curious if there's a reason for is development on the PS5 harder than it was on the PS4? I would imagine not. I would imagine that they would have a lot more freedom on the PS5, and the architecture is very similar to the PS4. So you would think that they would just be like, oh, we have the same stuff. It's just more memory, because that was a big problem with
PS4.
With PS4 is that even though they had, I think they had 8 gigs of RAM, only accessible was 500 or 500 megabytes or a gigabyte of RAM at a time for certain things. So I remember when doing some testing on one of the games, I was driving and they're like, oh, you can't drive super fast because the current build of the game, if you drive too fast, it won't load the things in front of you, because it's got to delete the things behind you while loading the stuff in front of you as you go through. And they didn't have the optimization in there. So if you drove too fast, the game would just break.
Everyone loves a good pop-in effect.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't even that. The world just wouldn't load and you'd fall. Anyway.
In that case, it's a pop-out effect.
Yeah. So I'm curious. Maybe, I don't even know if they're going to do another state of play or something, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's our show for the day.
It was a light news week, everyone.
It really was.
We got shit to do after this.
Yeah. If you want to hear more from Cyberpunk Monk and Reeton, just go listen to Clinton's Core Classics. Start from the beginning. That way.
Or, listen to the first episode, and if it's not for you, skip around a little bit. It gets good around season 2. We're sorry.
It gets good once we get rid of the cleric.
Once we actually start editing the podcast, it becomes palatable.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Who knew?
It it's tolerable. It's rough. What
Yeah.
podcast isn't rough at first?
I know, right? Anyway, thank you for being here, Connor.
I was here.
We'll see you all next week. Goodbye.
Bye.